Okay, I think we'll go ahead and get everything set up and get my screen showing. So if you're just now joining our webinar, and I did not turn my email on. If you're just now joining the webinar, what I was just sharing with the group is that there's just been so many things that have happened in 2020, and while some of it has been really great, and I've really appreciated the opportunity to work at home the way that I've worked at home, and had the opportunity to really dig in with some of the different aspects of Distributor Central, and just really focusing on what we're doing for distributors and how we can help suppliers help distributors. One of the things that has been lost in 2020 and now into 2021 is that one-on-one session that I would typically have with many suppliers while we were in their offices doing factory tours, and just understanding them a little bit better. And we always had this opportunity to sit down and really talk about what Distributor Central is and why we're here and why we started, and how as a supplier, we do things just slightly differently than maybe other service providers in the industry. And that has been just kind of lost in the last, where were we on, like 14 months at this point, 13 months at this point. So it's just been a little bit lost. And there have been different role changes in supplier offices and different people coming back in. And so I thought this would be a good opportunity to talk about why Distributor Central does things the way that we do things. And we do things slightly differently than other service providers do. And there's questions that I've been fielding throughout the year from suppliers. And I thought if I could just kind of gather all those questions that I've been fielding from suppliers over the last handful of months and do this in a more casual and a more kind of global presentation format, then it might be a benefit long-term, and it'll give you the opportunity to, we'll resend this presentation out at the end of today's webinar. And feel free, please, to use the question and answers or the chat functionality to send in any questions that you might have as we go through some of the things that we're going to talk about today. And I've looked at kind of who's in the webinar, and I know everybody, and I think that most people know me. So if you've got questions, we'll keep this really casual, and the more questions, the better. And I really will try to give it to you in the most direct, most direct answer. So today's session is not necessarily about how to do something on Distributor Central or the technical aspect. It's more the conceptual baseline for why we do and why we go to market the way that we go to market. And like many suppliers, it's just, those are the things that you kind of have in that face-to-face or that lunch meeting or a dinner meeting or a coffee meeting. And I just feel like that's been lost over the last few months. So I thought we would try this to talk about some of those things. Distributor Central, the way that we go to market is very different than what I'm hearing that possibly other service providers go to market. And when Distributor Central started in our foundation, we were built with the supplier in mind. So we were built to give the supplier tools and resources that 100% of your customer base can use. So when we develop content, or when we develop new technology, or when we think about an integration like we have with promo standards, we think about those things in whole on how they can help the supplier streamline the cost of doing business and how they can go to market faster. And we always think about those things in a way that a supplier could add this to their technology tool belt or some of the resources that they have internally. And when I talk about the things I'm going to talk about today, I'm going to be more direct than I think sometimes we are in either marketing or I am in other webinars. And I'm just going to be really direct and honest about why we're doing what we're doing and where we're going with it. So one of the questions that I've been fielding quite a bit is pricing structures and the way that we do everything all inclusively. And one of the things that sets Distributor Central apart, and as a supplier, I do think it's very paramount that you understand that. There are our other service providers are out there that says there's about 3,000 participating suppliers in those service provider solutions. I do not think that is a healthy number for a supplier. I am not chasing, and Distributor Central is not chasing, and we are not interested in working with 3,000 suppliers within the industry. The reasoning for that is I have a very unique position at DistrubutorCentral where I get to work on our integrations that we have with large distributors. I get to work with our suppliers, and I really get to sit in the middle of the industry. And I have, in all the years that I've been working with DistrubutorCentral, I have never heard a distributor tell me that they're doing business with 3,000 suppliers in the industry. I've never had a conversation with a supplier where and I ask these questions all the time, how many suppliers are good suppliers in the industry? And not one time have I ever heard that 3,000 number. There are not 3,000 good suppliers within this industry. And one of the reasons why we do things a little bit differently is because that barrier of entry needs to be significant enough where you as a supplier are competing with your true competition. There's not any reason, in my opinion, why if I were a supplier, I would want to compete with 3,000 suppliers at a very low barrier of entry to join the marketplace. And then that barrier of entry for my distributor customer to do business within the marketplace be really high. So that is why our model is maybe a little bit backwards from other service providers in the industry. We are not actively seeking out thousands of suppliers to be just saturating databases and saturating distributor websites. It does not work for anyone in the industry. When I have the opportunity to work with distributors, or we're building stores, or we're building niche market websites, I'm rarely ever hearing that a supplier or a distributor is trying to include more than about 25, possibly 50 suppliers on those niche market or website or really focused in websites. When I look at preferred vendor lists from suppliers, I'm not ever seeing preferred vendor lists in the thousands, at most maybe a couple hundred. So we are really only focusing on this suppliers that distributor partners are telling us that they need to do business with. So as a supplier, one of the things that is unique to DC is that 100% of your customers can use DistrubutorCentral 100% free. And we are not looking at consuming every single supplier or competitor of yours within our network of database, or within our network. So we really want you to, if you are competing, if I were a competitor and if I were going to be a competitor and I was going to fight or I was going to run, I would not want to be competing against people that were not my equal. I'd be working to compete against my true competition. And so as a supplier, we only want you to compete against your true competition. One of the other things that is different to DistrubutorCentral is that the data on DistrubutorCentral is not our data. We do not own your product information. That is your product data. And one of the reasons why since our foundation, or when we started back in the late 90s, suppliers have always had the ability to control your own product information is because I'm never going to know when you've had a change to your product line, a change to pricing. We're never going to be the first to know that. You're going to be the first to know that. So we give you the ability to control and manage all of your product data on DistrubutorCentral. We are not consuming product information from you and then reselling it to your customers. 100% of your customers, 100% of the time, can always use your product information at no cost. That is true with service providers. That is true with integration partners. So if we are working through an integration that we have with other service providers, like a common SKU or with promo standard, we are doing that on your behalf. We are taking that product data that you're working on and we are regurgitating or putting it anywhere that you need it to go. So if you had another integration or another way that anywhere else that you needed your product data to make it from a technology or an electronic standpoint, on DistrubutorCentral on your behalf will work with you to get that product information and put it wherever you need it to go. And we would always do that at absolutely no cost because that is your product information, not my product information. And I hope that makes sense. And again, if there are questions or concerns, please use that chat functionality, send those in, and I will address them. So everything that DistrubutorCentral does in whole and from a development standpoint, we try to do from a community development standpoint. So if it's good for the distributors, we're going to put it out there to 100% of your customer base at absolutely no cost. And we do that on the behalf of suppliers. If you've got a distributor that is telling you that they need an API of your product feed, or they need a store, or they need something that is typically technical in nature, Distributor Central is your technology partner, and we would work to do whatever we needed to do to get your product information wherever it needs to go on your behalf. And again, this is just we do not own your product data. So, and the way that I present this to distributors, and the way that we talk about this with larger distributors and with distributors just in general, is I have not ever, and if I'm wrong, I would love to be wrong, but in the 15 years I've worked in this industry, I've not one time heard a supplier tell a distributor that they're going to charge them for paper catalogs, or there is now a fee to access a supplier's website and look at product information, or there's a fee to view products anywhere, or a fee to view them at a show. And that is the Distributor Central method. And that is why everything that we do for distributors, we do at no cost, because you would never charge a distributor for the things that other service providers are charging for. And then when we talk about 100% of your customers, every single customer, every single distributor in the industry can utilize your product information that's listed on DC. And one of the reasons why Distributor Central was started way back is that there were just a couple of different solutions. And 30% of the market was using one, 30% of the market was using this, and 30% whatever. And then a part of the market was using absolutely nothing. And that forced suppliers to start to try to be everywhere. And so suppliers that got together that started Distributor Central wanted a place where 100% of their customer base could utilize their product information and do product research, build quotes, proposals, email their product information and presentation ideas over to customers, and have e-commerce websites that they could feature either through like a company store or a niche website, where their customers could feature their products in a fully e-commerce format, complete with a shopping cart and a checkout. And so that is why Distributor Central was formed, and that is really where the foundation of that technology started from. One of the things that we have done, I think, a very, very good job of in 2020 is in the creation of websites for distributors. We have created more websites in 2020 than I can remember creating in all the 15 years that I've been at DC. We have been creating websites that are product focused, that are focused for what's going on in the world. And I believe that we were really the first or the only technology provider that heard what the industry needed and actually delivered it to market. And we are hearing countless stories from distributors that didn't know what to do last year when the pandemic was really starting to get going. And maybe they were a distributor that never focused on technology, never really felt like they had to focus on having a website. And they very quickly learned 12 months ago that if they didn't, they were going to be in trouble. And so when the pandemic happened, I realized that we could help a distributor much quicker than a distributor probably could help themselves. We knew that distributors knew that they needed to get products on a website or through technology out to their customer base, but they didn't have the time or didn't know how to put that stuff together. So for the entire year, Distributor Central worked on the behalf of suppliers, and for distributors, we worked to get niche marketing websites out there in a very efficient and quick way, where a distributor, all they had to do is take their logo and drop it on a website and be able to be ready to go. And we've been creating all kinds of these websites throughout the year. This one just happens to be the very first one that we created when everything started shutting down last year. Distributors knew that they had to find these types of products that suppliers had available, or they were starting to have available. And they knew that they needed to get them into a website, but they didn't know how to get the graphics together, those kinds of things. So we were able to work with suppliers and work with our marketing department to, on the behalf for this distributor, put these graphics together and make these websites very easy to plug and play and be ready to go to get products in front of customers. And we're continuing to do that. We've created websites this year for the holidays, for very niche marketing. In another way that you can, as a supplier, utilize the resources that Distributor Central gives to you is you've got the ability to create websites that are just your own. So if you have customers that are asking you as a supplier, hey, do you have a website or a store solution or something that I can just feature your products on? You using your Distributor Central account, we can partner with you and we can help you create those websites that are just featuring your product lines that you can pass to your distributors, and we can create them as templates for you and make them available to the thousands of distributors that are using Distributor Central. We do all of this at absolutely no cost. We do this hosting at no cost. We do the website solution at no cost. It is already built into your Distributor Central account. If you're already listing products on DC, these tools are already available to you and ready to go. Another way that distributors, that we're helping distributors do this is because of our sponsorship through suppliers that are listing products on DC. And if you've got a distributor that says, I would really love to have your products on my website, or I would love to have a store, or I need products, your types of products with a virtual design tool and you don't have one, we will do this on your behalf for you. And we will help your distributor. We'll give them whatever resources they need. If it's a template, we can actually, through our Quick Start website program, we will take their logo, we will add it to one of our website templates, and we will do it for them. And we do that because you're listing your products on Distributor Central. So use this as a resource to help your distributor sell more products. We will also teach them how to do websites. If that's something that they want to learn, or if they are a distributor group that has that capacity. There's a couple of larger distributor groups that I work with almost on a daily basis where their marketing team is creating website templates for their websites for all of their associates, and I'm working with them and then working with their preferred supplier partners to make sure that the graphics and the product information align. So if these are things that you've had distributors ask you about, we'll help you do this. We'll do whatever we need to do to help you do these types of things. Another way that as a supplier, you can kind of leverage your resources from Distributor Central is through presentations, pop-up shops. We see those things happen all the time, especially around the holidays. We did a couple of webinars for suppliers around holiday gift giving and helped them create some pop-up shops that they were able to generate for their distributor customers to help them sell more products through that fourth quarter holiday season. That worked really well, and the feedback was very well received on those. So these are ways that you can help, or you can leverage your product data that's already listed on DC. And these are not things that will cost you as a supplier anymore. These are already tools that you have available to you and ready to go. One of the things that I always hope that a supplier understands is being a part of Distributor Central is it's a different animal. It is not a set it and forget it. It's not, it's also not a magic pill, but it will never cost you. It will save you more than it should ever cost you. And the reason why I say that is because product information to DC should be very easy to get. We should be just getting it from you electronically, and you should not be spending time rekeying or managing product information in that way. We will also send it to all of your customers. We will share it with any service provider. Once a supplier has started listing products on DC, we will also create the API or the integration to have promo standards compliant product data, so that it is just one more place where you are not having to manage data. It should also be saving you time and energy in terms of reduced phone calls internally. Product information on DC should be 100% accurate all the time. We also do, and you have the ability to also run your supplier-based website through Distributor Central as well. This is already available to you and not anything that would cost you any additional money. Here are some examples of suppliers that have used our website platform and why they've been using our website platform. And I will be sending this presentation out so you'll have these live sites available. But when Distributor Central partners with a supplier to put websites together, a couple of things that really help suppliers save energy and time and money internally is by communicating all of the product information in one location. So this is an example of a supplier. We do not rebrand the domain names. We don't put Distributor Central on them anywhere. But if I were really a distributor and looking at this product without having to make an additional call or ask any additional questions, I'm able to consume all the data here. And that's one of the things that we're still seeing from suppliers, even on websites in 2021, is just it's not having complete information. So I can get a shipping estimate. I can email this over to my customer. I can get all of the additional costs that might be associated with actually creating this product. If I have sales tools or videos or content, I can include all of that information in one location and really work to have a website that is selling for me and reducing the amount of unnecessary phone calls into my customer service department. And then your customer service department can do what they really do well, and that's is sell more products and add-on options. Other ways that DistrubutorCentral will give you more resources is through our reporting tools. If you are a supplier that is not familiar with the level of reporting that DistrubutorCentral provides to you, please reach out to your account manager. We give you more detailed reporting than any other service provider in the industry, from what I'm told. We'll tell you which distributor websites are getting activity on your product. We'll tell you which distributor companies are looking at your product information inside DC. We'll give you their phone number. We'll give you their address. We'll give you their email address. And then you can utilize that information to really do what you do well as a supplier, and that's sell your product line. So listing products on DistrubutorCentral, I don't know how to sell suppliers' products. And then I think that's a kind of a weird thing for me to say out loud, but I don't know how to sell plush toys, and I don't know how to sell stadium cups, and I don't know how to sell flash drives, and I don't necessarily always know what sets every supplier apart, but you do. So we will give you the tools through our reporting functionality so that you can know which distributors are looking at product information, where your product information is being effective, and then you can do what you do best, and that is sell back to your customers and build your internal marketing list so that you can be more effective and have a broader spectrum of people that you can sell to in the future. Also, we have integrations, I think I mentioned earlier, through other service providers within the industry. Once the data is in DC, we're pushing it out to any place that we've got an integration with, and we will continue to do that. Through our reporting tools as well, we'll let you know where additional impressions are happening outside of DC. We'll also have here in the next few weeks or maybe a couple of months, additional reporting through our promo standards integration, through our one source option, where you can get additional reporting through consumption of promo standards compliant product data elsewhere. So if you are not familiar with the reporting tools that DistrubutorCentral provides to you, please reach out to your account rep and make sure that you understand those and how you can implement them into your marketing efforts. There's other ways that even just beyond listing products on DistrubutorCentral that you can engage with distributors that are using DistrubutorCentral. And again, some of the things that have been lost in the last year that we'll definitely get back, but that we just haven't had the opportunity to do is staying in front of distributors. So DistrubutorCentral has released our Supplier Central webinar series, and we've been doing this for the last 12 months, and we've done this with a ton of suppliers, but we will help and we'll do the marketing on it and communicate it out to our distributor base. But as a supplier, at no cost, you can sign up to do one of our Supplier Central webinar series, and it gives you the opportunity to see a few hundred distributors that day. We do it through a Zoom. We send it out. We typically see a few hundred distributors register for it, and then we see we see those distributors also show up for the live presentation, and then we repurpose that content through our email marketing, and it also lives on all of our social media channels. So if you're a supplier that has not taken advantage of that, and when I send this presentation out, you'll be able to get access to this link as well. You can view this. I'm interested in co-hosting a webinar. You just need to fill it out and choose a date, and we will put you into that group of co-hosted webinars. And if you want to take a look at other webinars that have happened or that we've done in the past, on this link in the presentation, I'm going to email back out. You can see other presentations and other supplier supplier webinars that we've done in the past, just to get kind of a better understanding and a baseline of what's happening on those webinars. But this is just another way that you can use Distributor Central or leverage Distributor Central to stay in front of more distributors. Other ways that you can engage distributors that are looking and using your product information from DC, even just beyond the searches and beyond websites that are featuring your product data. We've also got online order discounts. And online order discounts are a way for you to, if there's maybe there's a special that you're running, or if you just, because you're going to get the order electronically and you can push it more seamlessly into your order processing system, you want to offer a discount for placing the order on Distributor Central. And these are, again, things that you can do at no cost to you. It's just a little bit of effort and setup, but you can offer discounts on your products and use the marketing platform to promote and push those discounts as well. So a total filter on Distributor Central that you can utilize, and then distributors can more easily find your product information from suppliers that are offering those types of discounts. Another tool that we have that is an opportunity to you is postcard mailers. Direct mail has been a larger focus of 2020. And I can't say in 2019 I was a giant fan, but it is becoming more and more relevant. And with people working at home and more distributors working from home, we've really seen a significant impact on our webinars and our events and those types of things that we've done direct mail on. We've done things like creating QR codes for them to sign up that have made a big impact on being able to reach distributors more easily. And we have we have a direct mail list, or a list of about 30,000 distributor contacts that we have access to. And the only thing that we would charge for is the actual postage. But in terms of the work to put them together and those postcards, we would do those for you at no cost, but we would work with you to get a cost on the postage. And that was what you would incur to have access or to be able to do direct mail campaigns to the distributor base that we have available on Distributor Central. We also have email marketing and those types of things as well. But these are other ways that you can continue to leverage Distributor Central and leverage our technology to stay in front of distributors and you have the opportunity for your sales team to do presentations and present product ideas to our distributor base. And those are always available. I think we do a couple of them a month. I think we still have dates open for the upcoming months, but it's at a no cost way to you to be able to stay in front of distributors and continue to reach them in maybe a way that you have not reached them previously. Other ways that Distributor Central is just slightly different is, again, we just talk about all of our integration. And when promo standards started becoming kind of a thing 5 years ago, one of the things that we were starting to notice is that it was a little bit of a haves and a have-nots. If you're a supplier that had a technology team and you're a supplier that had access to IT development, then you were pretty able to streamline your product information or configure your product information into a promo standards compliant set. However, on my best guesstimate is about 80% of the supplier base does not always have a technology team or did not have the ability to, in a cost-efficient manner, be able to get their product information configured into promo standards compliant product data. And there were several suppliers coming to Distributor Central because they were getting the question from their distributor partners, and they were getting some pressure to have promo standards compliant product data. So when we were looking at development for the last couple of years, we knew that this is something that needed to be addressed, and we knew that we could do it in a very cost-efficient manner to be able to pass and repurpose for our supplier base. So as a part of Distributor Central, as soon as your product information is in DC, we are also taking it and we are configuring it to be compliant with promo standards integration. And we have done that for hundreds of suppliers over the last few months. We have every supplier that already has product information in DC through one way or another. And if you haven't yet received your email about it, or you've not finished that piece of it, please let us know and we'll make sure to get it to you. But 100% of the supplier's product information in DC is now ready for promo standards compliant product set. So it's just a way that don't have to continue to try to manage product sets in multiple locations. So once it's in DC, we'll send it to every single service provider in the industry. We'll do that either through promo standards consumption or through an API or however they need to consume it. But 100% of the service providers in this industry can consume product data from DC because we're an open source product database. It is your product information. It is our responsibility to put it wherever you need it to go through technology. And that's really been our goal since 1999. The goal from DistrubutorCentral was to provide 100% of the supplier's customer base the ability to access product information, to build quotes, proposals, e-commerce websites, and to streamline the management of product data for the industry. And those are the things that are still our foundation, and those are still our goal, and those are still the reasons why we do the things that we do today. If any people have questions or just want to get additional information on anything I've talked about, please let me know. But that is what sets DistrubutorCentral apart, is that we're not reselling your product information. Your product information is owned by you, and it is our responsibility to get it wherever it needs to go. Your product information is available to 100% of your customer base at no cost. And really, as a supplier, your product data and your results from DistrubutorCentral are going to be reliant on your engagement with DistrubutorCentral as well. If you're not looking at your reporting, if you're not repurposing your reporting, if you're not providing good and quality products and complete product data, your results will not be as good as a supplier that is actively working and partnering with us to make sure that distributors have all the tools that they need to sell products efficiently and through technology. And that is really everything that I wanted to communicate today. It was just a refocus on why we do the things that we do, why our structure looks a little bit different, being free to 100% of the industry, and that is really a benefit to you as a supplier, that we're not segmenting the market and we're not charging your customers for things that you've already paid for. It is your product information, it's your account, it's your technology, and you have DistrubutorCentral in your corner as a technology partner to help you help your customers sell more products. I will leave the chat open if anybody has any questions, but that kind of concludes everything that I was going to talk about today.